Okay, I'm going to show you how to make a reservation today. There are many ways to make a reservation in roomMaster, but I'm going to show you one way that may be most effective for you. If you have any questions, certainly feel free to always ask. So today I have a reservation. One thing that we do is there's a variety of ways to make a reservation. You can see the reserve button up here, or the little drop down that actually goes right into creating a reservation. But the better thing is when you have the caller that doesn't know exact dates and stuff like that, the best thing is to click on availability. Now, if you assign by room number, sometimes your reservations will come up like this, and you can actually click into these little pockets of white here, and if you have your rates showing, it will show your rates. A lot of you will not be reserving by room number, and instead be reserving by room type, and then you'll assign on the day of arrival. So we'll do that in this case. So let's say the guest wants to reserve for December. So down here I just click go to date, and I go to, like, say the 18th of December. So it will go there. Sometimes it takes a little while to load, especially our system. We have a lot of information, so it brings up a lot. And let's say they mentioned AAA rate, so I have AAA rate going. You can also select daily standard rate. Now Cherry Tree, the system I'm working from, has a lot of different rates to go by. So that's why you see all these rates through here that you can select from, but your system may not have nearly that many. It may have. It just depends on how you guys decide to sell your property and make everything work. So let's say the guest wants AAA, so it will change all the rates for the room types here. Here's all the room types on this side. Here are all the dates. You can see the date. I'll make this, right now it's showing 2 weeks. I'm going to make it a little easier on you and show 1 week. Now if this is hard to read for you, you can click over here, change line height display, and you can decide type, normal, large, largest. So I'm going to say, let's say largest, and now I can easily maybe see it a little easier. So let's say the 18th, they're asking for a room. Let's just keep it simple. They're going to ask for a standard room with 2 queens. So I have my Elk Rapids studio, which is 2 queen beds overlooking the bay. And you can see I just clicked and dragged that column over so I could see the descriptions more. Now say you're a new employee, you're not quite sure how to describe this room. If you right click on the day that you're looking and click room properties, it will bring up a description of that room type. As we get going with your system, you may already have pictures, but if not, we may load pictures later. Cherry Tree does have pictures in here. So now I know about the know about the room. I've described to the guest. They want to go ahead and reserve. So now I can click right click again and reserve. Now I can select a number of nights, or I can just simply go into one of them and it's going to do the 1 night, and I can extend from there. If they decide to change, hey, I want 4 nights, what is the new total? You can click down here and say total stay, and it gets you a rate summary to begin, but I always like rate details because it shows the nightly rate here and then the total over here. This shows the total stay for each night and then the balance. So like each night is 98.91, 98.91, 108.90, and after each night it shows the total for each night. So let's do a 4-night stay, 2 adults, and then we have our Elk Rapids studio, which we already selected from here. We already have the rate set, and now we can start typing. So I'm going to just put in my information, Jonathan Pack. And let's say I'm not a returning guest. This will always suggest if you have typed in a name, it will put in bring up names of guests who have stayed with us before. I'm going to say no. Let's create new. So 1, 2, 3, 4 White Street. Let's say, still live in Traverse City, Michigan, because it's the best city in the world. And then go to, let's say, a phone number. We'll put in a phone number here. Actually, I'll give you, and then I always ask the question, what's the best one to reach you in case of an emergency? So we'll put in that, and then email to send a confirmation letter to. We'll do RileyHG.com. And then mail options, you don't always, if they want to say, hey, I don't want to get email all the time, you can put on here, do not email or mail. It still allows you to send out confirmation letters, but for future mailings, when it pulls information out of the system, it won't include their email. If you're not sure, you can select consent unknown, or you can just leave it as always send. I suggest leaving it always send until they tell you otherwise. For other information is where you put the credit card information. So you type that in, number, expiration date, and the name of the card. You don't need to put in a CVV or anything like that. That will be all achieved at check-in. What I like to do is sometimes someone's made it for another person. You can put that in here and then elaborate more in notes if it's different. That's up to you. The letter sent, you don't fill that out. That's sent as soon as you email a confirmation, and I'll get there here in a moment. You don't have to worry about travel agents generally for your property. These two fields are really important: market source, market segment. So market source is going to be, how did they find out about your hotel? Now, Cherry Tree is well established, so we have lots of ways people can find out, but let's just say for this instance, they found us through a first time stay email. So that was an email they signed up for, they got it, so they mentioned it, great. I'm going to make sure that we track to that email so we can track the success of it. Segment, why are they coming up to the area? Let's say they're coming up for business, okay? And you'll see a variety, and you're just pick the one that's most appropriate. Word of mouth is common for, hey, friends told me about it, or family told me about it. Visiting family, that's one. Festivals, things like that. So arrival time, again, there may be additional options in your system that will be different. Ours is arrival time, so if I ask the person, hey, what time you're arriving? Great, 5 p.m. Okay. That's nice information for a housekeeping team. So if there's early arrivals for the day, they know that, myself, they don't have to worry about me until make sure the room is ready by 5 p.m. It's not guaranteed. We always check in at any time after 3 p.m., but it helps help housekeeping set pace. So one thing that we always require at our hotels is notes. Note. You never know what's going to happen with the reservation. It's great to have a history of what's going on with the room. Even when there's nothing spectacular about the reservation, I always require a date stamp. You just click date stamp, and that's what created this first portion. And I say no's, pals, and regs. That's it. That's all they want to know just to start. It helps the thought process. From there, we may add things like caller was very, helps if I spell right, was awesome on the phone, loves the micro brew scene. So that helps my team members. They go to check that person in for the day. They're like, oh, hey, you like microbrews? Let me tell you about where this one or that one is. So little things like that are really important steps for going beyond with the guests. Once you're all done with that, you can send a confirmation letter. So just email a letter. You can also print one. Fax, I don't know why this is up here. Apparently some roommaster properties do fax, but email or print, 90% of them are email. So I'm going to just say email and confirmation. Now your system will likely come up with the confirmation just to go over again. It will have all our policies on it, and then you can say finish. It will send it out. It takes a few moments. And then once it's all done, it will give you a little confirmation here that says, hey, it was sent. Oh, it's probably some kind of setup in our system. I'm in training mode, so otherwise it would say okay. And then once you're done with that, you say okay. Now this one won't let me out just because I need a credit card, so I'm just going to fill in things here. Just ignore these screens because that's just part of our system. But now I have that reservation all set. So that's how you make a reservation in roomMaster. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you.